Blog Talk Radio. Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadek. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Karriem Hameed. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution. Grand Rising. Thank you all for joining us on this Wednesday morning on the Female Solution Global Radio TV Show. I'm Naima Latif, and today you'll see me, but you won't hear my voice much because this is the day for the men-only discussion led by our co-host Karriem Hameed, and we've got a fantastic show for you because one of the things that so many people have been concerned about is how our elders can play a role in reversing this horrible trend of violence. Well, the only way to stop it is if our community comes together, the youth with the elders, and form a truce between those warring factions that have had our community in a state of urban warfare for too long. As we approach this summer, there are many who are concerned because some cities throughout the United States have literally been war zones and kept people living in a state of fear. Well, today our men-only discussion is featuring a group of youth and elders who have come together to form such a coalition that will bring the peace. And we'll be talking to them today. So we'll be right back with our co-host Karriem Hameed and our American Muslim 360 family as we discuss how elders can inspire youth to live in peace. Yes, they can, and we are the people we have been waiting for. So we want you to call in with your comments. Now, men, call in 515 605 9891. This is a men only discussion. So, women, if you have something to say, we want you to call in at 515 605 9325. And we'll be talking during our commercial breaks every half hour to give us some insight about this topic and how we as men, how the men can help, and how we as women can be supportive. So we'll be right back after this quick break.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif. Join me and my co-host Karriem Hameed every Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the Female Solution Radio Show as we explore that relationship that is the foundation for our society, the relationship between men and women, husbands and wives. Join our discussion as we seek to repair broken family ties and rebuild our community. Listen online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to our host. Or you can join us live on Facebook at www.facebook.com/the-female-solution.
I believe we have our beloved sister Naima Latif with us at this time. If you would press 1 on your phone, Naima, that will.
You are now in the
present. Okay, there she is. Praise be to Allah. She got a lot. Unmuted. This morning we have a special treat. The aim and the purpose for having these conversations is to continue growth. And you continue growth by sharing with the present generation and the generations to come. We are grateful to have a semblance of what I would refer to as young men that are striving to make a difference in this world, striving to make a difference in this world. I want to call upon them now. I see we have Imam Yahya Shabazz is with us. I see his number. Let me see now. I see. Okay, I'm going to call out these names, and those that are present, would you press 1 on your phone? That will give me an indication that you are present. Kevin Fellows, if you are present, press 1 on your phone, if you would, please.
That's Reven Fellows.
Yeah, Reven, thank you. Reven Fellows. If you're present, press 1 on your phone. Okay, Kente Carter.
And also I wanted to let you know, Kente Kaiser is his last name, Kaiser.
Kaiser.
Yes.
Okay. Make the correction here. Kente Kaiser. Okay. There we go. If Centrion Belanger, if you're present, press 1 on your phone. And Rashid Salam, if you're present, press 1 on your phone, please. Okay. I see. Okay, we have Kente Kaiser with us. We have Dion Harden. No, we have hold on, please. Okay, I know who that is. That's not the number that I'm looking for. That is press 1 on your phone. Okay. All right. So anyway, let me open up the mics of those that are present, and will they give a brief introduction of who they are and what they do. These are young men that are trying to make a difference in the city of Chicago by way of blocking or stopping the senseless killing among African American males. And we are grateful to have them with us. I want to open up the mic. Now, please have a brief description. Introduce yourself briefly, please, to the listening audience so that we can utilize this time in a very productive manner, in a productive way. I'm going to open up the mic of Imam Yahya Shabazz. If you would introduce yourself to the Female Solution audience, my beloved brother.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, Billy, man?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Imam Yahya Shabazz. I'm from Oakland, California. Been actively involved in community organizing and the work that we're doing here in this area for a number of years. Used to be co-host to Imam Karriem Hameed on American Muslim 360 a few years ago, and enjoyed that stint quite very, very well. I worked with a group here in Oakland called Like-Minded People for social justice, recognizing one humanity. This group has been active almost about a year now. We came together as a result of the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor in last year. I think during the protest, there was a worldwide protest going on behind those killings because people were finally able to see that what we as African Americans had been complaining about was not just worries, but was actually happening, and the media showed that. Yes. Yes, sir.
Inshallah, inshallah, we shall get into that. But at this time, I only want the you as the president. Introduce yourself. I know this is a subject matter that's close to your heart. I know that. Okay. Okay, I see we have Kente Kaiser with us. If you would give a brief introduction of yourself to the Female Solution audience, we would greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Peace and blessings to everyone represented and to the Female Solution audience. On behalf of National Women's History Month, I salute all the queens, Sister Latif, for the invitation. I have my mother listening, Deanna Horton, a.k.a. Lady D. So I'm honored to be amongst you all. I am I'm the #1 Chicago youth public speaker and just a servant of young people, man. And that's pretty much me.
Okay, thank you, brother. And I've been made aware that you are a spoken word artist, and later on we look forward to you sharing your gift that art form, the spoken word, with us. Praise be to Almighty God Allah. Let me see. I don't see my brother Reason. If you are present, Reason Fellows, please press 1 on your phone, 773-969. I will open up your mic and you can give a brief introduction to the listening audience, inshallah. Okay. I don't see him present, but I want to reiterate that I'm so pleased to have the young men with us this morning, so that they can share what that we see that we all have the same concerns. How can we create the peace and create a more productive life, inshallah? I want to open up the mic to our beloved brother Dion Hardy. I don't see his number. I spoke with Regan yesterday, and he assured me that he would be here, but I don't see his number at this time. Okay, I do not see the number of Dion Hardy. They were present at the press conference yesterday that was held in Chicago, where they shared their programs with the citizens of Chicago. So anyway, we'll move forward. Praise be to Allah. I want to hear from first, if I'm not mistaken, the youngest member of this wonderful assembled panel. I would like to hear from our brother Centrell Belanger. He's a high school youth, and he has a program that is entitled The Untouchables. If you would share what you do with us, Centrell, we would greatly appreciate that. Centrell? 773-800.
Check your mute.
Boy. Okay, all right. Yes, 773-787. Pardon me. No, 773-808. Centrell, if you would.
Are they not? They're on the switchboard.
His mic is open. Maybe he stepped away for a moment. I'm not sure, but we'll move forward. I so wanted to hear from him, the youngest among us here on the studio board, and we always look forward to hearing from our youth, our future.
Well, during the break, I'll contact anybody who's not on.
Okay, I think his call may have dropped. I don't see him on the board at this time, but inshallah. Okay. Well, let me move forward. Kente Kaiser. Yes, sir. He's a spoken word artist. Would you please share with the listening audience what you do, my beloved young brother?
Okay, well, this is God's work, and God is using me in the city of Chicago and very soon across this nation and world to inspire and uplift and help cultivate our young people. And so I do that through inspirational speaking, rapping, and poetry. I realize that the media and some of the lyrics and the music, man, is really destroying our young people, man. You know, and so God has placed on my heart and petitioned me to speak life and encourage our youth, to remind them of how great they are. So once again, I'm the #1 Chicago youth public speaker. I'm an author. I'm a poet. I'm a recording artist. a creative writer, jingle writer, hook writer, original songwriter. So just a certain.
Oh, yes, praise be to God. If you would share with us a short rendition of one of your works, we would greatly appreciate that, my brother.
Okay, sure. Just go in and say, I'm living life, I'm winning, turned away from sinning, wealthy mindset, but I'm still watching my spending, good vibes I'm sending, Jesus Christ my engine, my life is so complete, it was done from the ending, they thought that I was finished, this really the beginning, living life, no stopping me, living like God watching me, I'm turned up off that P.O., it's that Holy Ghost around me, born free, born fly, so going to heaven, I ain't scared to die, highly favored, highly blessed, king kid, don't do the stress, like the only school I know where every day you have to take a test. I'm going in like all the way. Every day my holiday. Don't listen to that devil, y'all. Let's focus on what God says. What else? Stop it there.
Thank you. That is so wonderful, my brother. Thank you for sharing that. That is definitely a positive message. Oh, that is wonderful, my brother. That
and, that's something I was going to share later, but that's just something real quick. I was getting.
All right. Yes, sir. I want to thank you. That is very, very positive. I want to now
Finished recording.
ask God to let me know.
Press 1 for more options.
Yeah.
Call in now. 9.
I want.
605.
Okay, I think I'm going to have to close some mics. I'm not sure. But I want to now hear from our beloved Imam Yahya Shabazz, or you are the answer to what he has identified as one of the main problems of the violence that we see and the crime we see that has been fostered upon our African American youth. Imam Yahya Shabazz, would you share some statements in regards to what our beloved brother has produced from out of his brilliant mind, if you would, please?
Yes, sir, Brother Imam. Thank you so very much, and thank you for the invitation to be on the program this morning. I would like for us to look at the crime and the violence, especially the rise or the spike of crime and violence in the African American community is something that is not coincident, that is not accidental. It is by design. It's by design. And we have to look at this as a perpetration of death, hell, and destruction on our community by those who are not only racist, but along with being racist, are profit motivated. Back in the days of slavery on the plantation, we see how what we call the white man or the slave master, how they perpetrated violence and so forth on us, the Jim Crow era, the lynchings and so forth, and how our women were disrespected, how we as a people were disrespected. On down through the ages, after the Emancipation Proclamation, we see that this kind of treatment is no longer legally allowed. We know it happened, but it's no longer legally allowed. So we see the rap music, the gangster rap, and so forth. Now, let me clarify something. This is not a condemnation of all music. It's not even a condemnation or blanket condemnation of all hip hop or anything like that. We are addressing the dangerous lyrics and gangster rap and hip hop, and that whole culture nationwide. They produce the same kinds of deadly lyrics in the music that when is given to us on a 24/7 basis. It produces violent tendencies in us as a people. We shoot and kill each other. We despise and disrespect our women, and there's no limit to how we are disrespected among other civilized people in the world. We have
I'm grateful that that you highlighted that, and then it is good to hear from spoken word artists that is accentuating the positive. It is words make people. As you well know, words influence us, and it's so wonderful to hear a young spoken word artist accentuating the positive. That brings gratitude to our hearts. That it's not all, that there are youth that are working to produce positive words, positive images. That God willing will shape the behavior. Thank you. I'll return back to you in a few more. I know you have thoroughly investigated this phenomenon called gangster rap. There are statistics that are associated with that. I see we have our brother here, brother Regan Fellows. I spoke with him yesterday. He was at the press conference, but I want to take this time to pause now for some important public service announcements. And I ask you, don't touch that dial. We'll be back in a while as we share with each other, the males, share with each other, accentuating identifying the flaws and accentuating the positive. Praise be to Almighty God. You listen to America Muslim 360, the #1 Islamic radio station in the nation. And this is the broadcast of the Female Solution and the intelligentsia component of the community-wide Shura Conference. I see we have with us beloved brother Regan Fellows, founder of the National Black Agenda. And we shall hear from him after the important public service announcement. So I ask you, don't touch that dial. We'll be back in a while, God willing, inshallah.
Tune in to Global Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear great topics and stories on grief and turn it into victory. Join Dr. Debbie Green to listen to stories of triumph and learn how to overcome. You are not alone in your life, and there is hope in the darkest hour. This is your time to learn strategies and solutions to improve your life. It's your time. So join Dr. Debbie Green with Global Solutions and call in on Thursday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at 515-605-9325 with comments and questions. Look to hear from you real soon.
And for those who are on our switchboard, we've got some women on the switchboard, and we'll be talking during the break as others who are listening in, hearing some of the other conversations and commercials. So I believe we've got Sister Maika on the line. Grand Rising. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So during the break, we'll get a chance to reflect a bit of what we heard.
That's a good thing.
And I'm really excited because we do have our men actually coming together and choosing to work with the youth to inspire them to put aside their differences, not be pushed into the violence that the drug culture has created, but to actually begin to learn skills where they can rebuild their community, they can build houses, they can repair roads, they can do the things that help in the process of building a strong and self-sufficient community. So this is some of the things that the brothers are going to be talking about. So I know you've been involved with a lot of the kind of efforts with the work that's been done. Of course, the work that's being done out there in Pembroke. So what do you think are some of the ways that the women can perhaps be encouraging, supportive, inspiring in that effort?
Well, naturally, women throughout history, coming out of Africa, have always been those who provide food for the village, for the family. And so women have to take back that natural role of assuring food security for the family. So it's like getting the young people, the young men and the young women engaged in natural settings and oases on the overground railroad so that they can be a part of a growing nation. You can't have a nation if you're not in charge of your food.
Oh.
That becomes an important thing that we can do at this particular time. And as we do that, young men can spread their wings and not find themselves clashing because their creativity can be expressed. Their gifts, skills, talents, and abilities can be expressed. People need channels through which to express the natural God-given energies and abilities that they have been gifted coming to earth.
Absolutely.
The bottom of it existing in a system that is incapable of handling the kind of energies that come out of African people. People,
yes.
devise a system of relationships for eagles. That just don't work.
Right. But we'll talk more about that. We're going to come back to the show. We'll talk more about that, how we can get them steered toward food production. Because like you say, if you can't produce your own food, you really can't be an independent nation.
Right.
Thank you.
And we are back. Before opening up the mic of Reuben Fellows, he's the founder of the National Black Agenda. I want to share with you a statement from our beloved leader. May Almighty God grant him the highest station in the paradise, Dr. Martin Luther King. May we take note of what he is saying here. It is very important. I bring you now the voice of the late leader, Dr. Martin Luther King.
Don't let anybody take your manhood. Be proud of our heritage. As somebody said earlier tonight, we don't have any. Don't let anybody take your manhood. Be proud of our heritage. As somebody said earlier tonight, we don't have anything to be ashamed of. Somebody told a lie one day. They couched it in language. They made everything black, ugly, and evil. Look in your dictionary and see the synonyms of the word black.
something degrading and low and sinister. Look at the word fight. It's always something pure. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will call. Yes, I'm black. I'm proud of it. I'm black and beautiful. Right? Okay. Praise be to God. I hope that message registered with us. There's another segment to that speech I want to share. Okay. It's where he pleads with us. He pleads with us that we should write our own declaration of independence. That no one can do this for us. This is a job that we must do. And he pleads with us to reach down into our soul and take the self-asserted pen of freedom and write our own Declaration of Independence. Write our own freedom. No one can do this for us. Use your self-asserted manhood. Make your self-asserted manhood to write our own Declaration of Independence. That this is a responsibility that falls upon all of us, especially as men. We are responsible for that which we are charged with, and we have the responsibility of our communities, our wives, and our children to stop looking for others to come and liberate us. Liberation is within our soul and our mind. So with those statements, I want to now open up the mic of Reverend Fellows. If you would, please give a brief introduction of yourself and share with us the positive that you offer in the way of liberation of our young men, of our young youth in the streets, if you would, please.
Well, first of all, let me thank you, my brother, for allowing me to be on the show. I spoke with you the other night when we had a powerful resurrection in Chicago that's going to shake up the world. I want to thank Sister Naima and especially Women's Month, my mother Geraldine, and my grandmother Clyde Fellows, and all the sisters around the globe. Happy Women's Month. We appreciate you, we love you, and thank you for all you've done. Just briefly, I'm just Reverend Fellows. I'm a co-founder of National Black Agenda. I've been blessed to just be a servant for God. I took my athleticism as a sports player into activism, and I've been on fire doing the work as I was one of the top point guards in the state of Illinois in 1978, Simeon High School, where losing is not acceptable. So that concept allows me to compete at this level. So God chose me for this work, and I was able to meet a man named Reverend Dr. Charles Smith of the African American Heritage Museum and Black Veterans Archive out of Aurora, Illinois. The only museum in the world that recognized 7,246 African American men and women who fought and died in Vietnam. And he gave me a taste of history, and I've been on fire since 1989 after graduating from college at Royal University. But what that led me to do research on every Black agenda since the 1800s, Philadelphia, Niagara Falls, Pan-African, NAACP, Urban League, the first Gary convening in 72 to come back to the rededication when Minister Farrakhan spoke, and was able to bless to be there this last weekend on the 50th anniversary of the National Black Gary Convention to speak about a published book that we launched, that we consolidated. It's a breathing document called the National Black Agenda, and it's a breathing book published by our brother Brian Gorman. It's a great read, but in that, God allowed me to look at all this research and bring a powerful team together of scholars at every level, and we breed this document that's going throughout the country, being well received. It's simplified, and black pages so the average person can read it for policy. With that, each part of the component, education, pandemic, part of that component is working with young people, faith-based, and the leadership of Dr. Gail Fraser. But I say that to say that what happened the other night was a continuing work of that black agenda into the streets of Chicago. We have to, we've tried everything in Chicago to stop the violence in Chicago, but what we're going to do this time, we're going to kill violence with love, contract, business, and jobs. And we have not done that effectively as black leadership in Chicago. We got 1,000 people murdered, 80% black on black, most of them black men, and most of them are young black children, girls and boys. We have the most murderous time in Chicago in 25 years. And so we have a bad report card with the first black president, the first black mayor, the first black senator, Seaway Bank, a black-owned bank now owned by a white credit union. We lost all 5 banks, no black grocery store, 1 black gas station, and the Chicago Defender is now online. And WBLN, who we love her, has moved out of Chatham down into the South Loop. So we lost close to 150 schools. So we in trouble here in Chicago. The mayor of the city of Chicago, who's a black woman, does not like another black woman who's over the Cook County Commissioner, Ms. Trent Winkle, and then Kim Fox, who's also the attorney. So we have 3 black women, 1 over the police department and 1 over the county jail, which is a larger population of black people, and another one over the criminal justice system and law. And they all are not getting along. And the FOP, Chicago Police, don't get along with them. And the superintendent of police that's from out of town, his sergeants have voted no confidence. So May 30th is the most bloodiest time kicking off the summer. So this is a long situation. Ain't nobody coming. So God laid on my heart and a couple of other brothers, a brother named Jeff Maxwell, who did some time in prison, and the Untouchables and Chicago Peace Mission. We came together as a coalition. How do we stop this violence before it get off March 30th? And so what we begin to do is use our network. I'm one of the most prolific networkers, not to brag, but God has had me and blessed to be in a relationship with all these people, young, old, and in between. So we reached out to the different fractions on the west side of Chicago, near K-Town, over in Inglewood, over in Oak Block, over in the Pocket, and the Wild 100. So all the communities that young men have created havoc, I reached out to young men that have influence to change their life, and they agreed to come to a press conference at a black-owned hotel in South Loop and say that we're going to commit to a bloodless summer, and we're going to get the young people together, and we're going to apologize them for dropping the ball on everything I mentioned. No black bank, no black grocery store, 150 schools closed. And so those young men came from all parts of the city. We gave them an apology. They accepted it, and we let them go forth. And we came to make an apology and bag their hand. So they told us what we needed and what needed to be done. The Nation of Islam and other brothers. So it was just powerful to see young men articulate their statement of who they are and what they feel and give solutions. Apologizing to black women, saying how the black woman is not being respected. This is coming from the young brothers, saying, one young brother said, redlining. I come to talk to you about redlining, but not gentrification, but being redlined as a black man, being stereotyped with a hoodie, can't get a job in my own community. So we just, man, it was so powerful to see what God can do. And what we're doing from that is mobilizing these young men for a campaign that we call 40 Days and 40 Nights. Please put down the gun and rain a godly love on a black man. Stop the killing and start the building campaign, Dr. Webb Evans. And so what we're going to do is we're going to May 30th, we're going to love on the shooter, love on the looter, love on every brother in this city and raise them up. We've organized black women last Saturday at the theater. And sisters, they got together to watch the movie Pray the Devil Black to Hell that elected the first black woman president out there, where the women were able to pray, galvanize Christian women, and they put on white, and they stopped the violence and took out the dictatorship, and the young brothers stopped killing. So there's a movement in Chicago, a bunch of men and women, black women, going to lift black men up, and we're asking them to talk 40 days and 40 nights. Just
put something positive up on the airways. So, man, I'm not going to go long, but I'm still on fire to hear them young men articulate what they want, and we're committed to love on them to death, that they're going to have to run out of Chicago with God. The city is being cursed. Chirac, we're going from Chirac to Jerusalem, a city of peace. We're looking for the stones that the builders rejected. We're going from Jerusalem to Chatosa, Oklahoma. We're going to be Chatosa Economic Development, Black Wall Street. I'm a co-founder of Black Wall Street Chicago. From that to Charlotte. And with that, I'll be quiet, brother, just letting you know that God is going to shake up Chicago. We're going to have a bloodless summer based on the young people making the call. Thank you so much, my brother. And as you said about the music, I commend that, young brother, because clear the airways, brother, because we, out of Indiana, they're attacking the airways there, and we're going to organize these women and men, and we're going to go out to these radio stations that are belittling our women. So there's a movement in Chicago. It's called Jerusalem instead of Chirac. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Alhamdulillah. Praise that is praise be to Almighty God for that movement of love. There is no emotion more stronger than the emotion of love. Praise be to Almighty God. I see you have far-reaching goals. You know, it is comprehensive. Praise be to Almighty God. Of accentuating the positive, and I'm grateful to hear that there is an effort to provide income to our community. We need entrepreneurship in the communities in which we live. We're consistently buying from others and not benefiting from that. Providing employment opportunities for our young youth. That is so comprehensive, and I'm grateful to hear that first let me say this, I'm older than you, I know that, and I have to apologize for our generation for dropping the ball, we're on our way toward doing for self, and through social engineering, giving us a negative message. Many of us fell victim to that negative message of being playboys and playgirls, and we dropped the ball. I want to personally apologize to you and our youth, but know that we were victims of a very, very sophisticated scheme that took our attention from off of our movement toward true liberation, and just that as males and females, we must forgive each other. We are victims of a strategic social engineering. Let's stop fighting one another. Let's stop arguing with one another and come to the realization that we can put the parts back together. Praise be to Almighty God. I thank you, my beloved brother. Alhamdulillah, which be all praises due to Almighty God. I want to now...
Brother Karriem, Centrell is on. He's on another number. Look for it on the switchboard.
Oh.
It might be 312-721. It might come through as. You see it?
Can you hear me? This mic time. Brother Centrell? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Would you give a brief introduction to the female solution audience and the AM 360 audience? Very brief introduction, and share with us what you do. I see here in my notes you have a program that's called the Untouchables, and you are a high school teacher. Would you share with us, please?
Yes, sir. I'm from Shelburne. I'm 14 years old. I'm in high school, currently a freshman. I go to Kenwood Academy High School. Play football. Yeah, that's really mostly about myself. I just really want more peace and everything. I love it. I love this movement. I love doing this because like it gives me more opportunities to like put my voice out there. Feel I like all this stuff.
Yes, good. What is the untouchable? I see here in my notes that the Untouchables program.
I'm not aligned with the Untouchables.
Well, if I did not say my brother, can you hear me, bro? Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. The young brother was invited to the collaborative effort of Chicago Peace Initiative and the Untouchables, brother Tony Scales and brother Eric Lewis and a couple of other brothers and sisters. They have a group called the Untouchables, and brother Tony Scales is part owner of the South Loop Hotel in Chicago, Black home. But those brothers are part of the Steppers industry, and they're doing a lot of giveaways. So all summer they're giving out gifts, refrigerator, food, clothing, and shelter to people, just giving them love through the industry of stepping and community giving. So Brother Tony Scales is untouchable, the leadership, and brother Eric Lewis. So this young brother was invited, I think, by brother Dion, which is his uncle, I think. He's a young man that's on fire, who formerly used to be in the streets, and he brought this young brother to speak. But brother Dion is taking the young brothers that have been called the shooter, the ostracized, and they all got together, about 15 of the young men, and they were talking about cleaning up what they've done wrong. So they come to the table, and we're going to back their play so they go out. And so, but we want to showcase young men like that. It was so crucial the other night, and I could tell that the women felt it, and the young men felt it. It was genuine that we gave an image of black men not shooting and looting, smashing and grabbing, but loving on each other and what we're going to do. So he was invited by one of his family members, I believe, and this young man's in college doing great work at Kenwood College School. It's just to show the talent in the gift. And as you say, we got to give them a platform. That's why the elders sit back and we back their play. And we're going to black their play and ask them what they need to save their lives. And I thank you, young man, for the conversation you gave to open up on the mic to tell us what we need. Thank you so much, and we love you. Crazy guy. On that note, I want to return back to our brother Imam Yahya Shabazz, and they share the activities that he is fostering in California, which is also experiencing a huge uptick in violence and lawlessness.
Yes, sir. Brother Graham, first I want to congratulate and really thank all of the brothers that you have on the program here for the most excellent work that they are doing. What we're doing here is going to the root cause of the problem, and I want to just give just a very brief report from the Journal of American Academy of Pediatrics. This report states how the dangerous lyrics in the music and the negative effect that they have on the minds of our young people, and how these negative lyrics in hip-hop and gangster rap, again, let me say this is not a blanket condemnation of music, or not even hip-hop, but is addressing the dangerous lyrics in the music, and how this music is designed to bring about our young people. All of the brothers who are doing all of the excellent work in the community, we have to go, and it's all good, but we have to get to the root cause so that the work that we are doing can continue can continue. This music is designed to make us feel it's misogynistic, causing us to disrespect ourselves and our women and kill each other, and is the major cause of the violence that we see in our major cities today. So we here in California, we have started a movement to remove this music from the airwaves. We're going to be addressing our city police and mayors and so forth nationwide. We invite you all to join in this movement if you can see the validity of it. And we applaud the fact that we're doing things, we're producing our own, as the brother was saying, with the positive music that they're producing from themselves. It's a two-pronged approach. Number one, we do have to provide something. If we take away something, we have to provide something to replace it. So we do have to provide entertainment for our own people. But alongside that, we have to, it's imperative that we remove these gangster lyrics, these gangster rap from the airwaves. You can provide 1 million jobs in the community, but if you still have these dangerous lyrics in the music, our young people are going to continue the destructive lifestyles. Last but not least, and I'll be finished, we have found that the radio station being financed by corporate powers. You know, these corporate powers, they don't care about the people in the African American community or any other community. They look at the money and the finance as a multi-billion-dollar business. We was talking to one brother who told us that he was on the front end at the beginning of this gangster rap phenomenon that has been put on us. And he was saying to us that the music, the entertainment industry, they say that they will not sponsor, they will not give money to any clean music unless it got unless it has the kind of language in it that degrades us. You know, that's using the B word, using the N word, using the H word, and that is overwhelmingly sexually explicit. These are the kind of lyrics that are put into our community on purpose so that it can create the designed effect that help us to shoot and kill each other, disrespect each other. So we are asking those of you who are on the call today to take a look at this trend that's going on and how these lyrics are causing us to murder, kill, and shoot each other. You know, pimping is hard, but somebody got to do it next, and all that kind of stuff. Baby's mama, baby's daddy, you know, all of these things are disrespecting terms that cause us to disrespect each other. So, alongside with promoting and doing things for ourselves and promoting our own music, we have to also get rid. We have to completely wipe away these lyrics that are promoting violence and so forth across the airways on our radio station. And it has to be a national movement. It has to be a national movement in this area.
Yes, thank you, Imam Yahya Shabazz. You know, you said something that you have to have something to read. Whatever is removed has to be replaced. I don't know how successful we would be in, we should be contacting the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. There should be a moral standard within that commission that we should approach them and let them know that they are derelict in their functioning of abrasive language being used on the airwaves. We want to pause right now for station identification and some important public service announcements. All praise is due to Almighty God. You are listening to the Female Solution by way of American Muslim 360, an intelligentsia component of the community-wide Shura Conference. We ask you at this time, don't touch that dial. We'll be back in a while. God willing. Muted.
All right. Well, let us. And And while they are on break, and while they're on break, oh dear, we're not able to do this. Oh, wrong one. I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. We are a part of the online network of Associated Internet Radio hosts. On Air. On Air empowers you with transformative news and interactive radio TV shows. This is such a wonderful time to be alive and to see our human family coming together as one community as a result of that powerful tool, the internet. We can now talk directly to each other all over the world. There's no need for conflict or misunderstanding. There's no need for violence to solve our differences. We can talk to each other face to face until we reach an agreement. On Air offers a fantastic global guide to communicators from all over the world who are using their internet platforms to inspire us to strive to be our best selves in order to become the kind, compassionate, loving people we were all born to be. Once we do that, we'll see planet Earth transformed into a place of peace. Subscribe to the recommended YouTube channels, Facebook pages, and podcasts created by these Voices of Enlightenment. On Air provides daily news briefs and a weekly magazine to keep you abreast of events and opportunities. On Air news affiliates in television, radio, and print share information, insight, and interviews with notable personalities. Go to onaireverywhere.com for a daily dose of uplifting news. We're on air everywhere, online all the time. Unmuted. Muted.
And of course, if you have been listening online and you are part of this discussion, we want to give you an opportunity to call in and comment.
Hi, I'm Jody Susan, Susan Essentials. I started Susan Essentials in 2015 because of a personal health journey. I was over-medicated and put on 19 different medications. And yes, I reversed all my chronic diseases using plant and energy-based healing. It was amazing. At Susan Essentials, We support both consumers and businesses, and we do that with helping your employees or yourself with a food as medicine mindset. How Tucson Essentials supports businesses and consumers is we teach people about a food as medicine mindset. So we support people on how to support their own immune system, how to support their brain health, how to support their emotional well-being. And we do that all with plant and an energy-based healing.
And if you are listening online, if you're listening online, we want you to join this conversation. Men, call in 515-605-9891.
Nationwide senior citizen parks.
Okay, Maika, are you able to hear me? Maika, are you able to hear me? Maika, are you able to hear me online? Okay, we'll open your mic back up. And we are back. You are listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio Show. Today is our our men only discussion. And can't do that. All right, so we are back with our men only discussion. Let me see. So are we? Oh, wait a minute. Can't do that. Gotta come to the switchboard. Can't come to my phone. I believe we're back now. Oops. And I believe we are back on our American Muslim 360 line. Karriem, can you hear me now? Maika, can you hear me now? Maika, can you hear me now?
Let anybody come here tonight and plead with you.
dictionary and see the synonyms of the word black. There's always something degrading and low and sinister. Look at the word black. It's always something pure.
Okay. I want to share this message with both platforms. I believe the Female Solution is back with us, and I want to share these statements from our late beloved leader, Dr. Martin Luther King. He begins by pleading with us. Please listen very carefully. Activated. I believe this is the one I want everyone to hear. I come here tonight and plead with you. Believe in yourself and believe that you're somebody. As I said to the group last night, nobody else can do this for us. No document can do this for us. No Lincolnian Emancipation Proclamation can do this for us. No Smithsonian Civil Rights Bill can do this for us. If the Negro is to be free, he must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with the pen and ink of self-asserted manhood his own emancipation. Don't let anybody take your manhood. Be proud of our heritage. Somebody said earlier tonight, we don't have anything to be ashamed of. Somebody told them a lie one day. They couched in language. They know everything black, ugly, and evil. Look in your dictionary and see the synonyms of the word black. It's always something degrading and low and sinister. Look at the word black. It's always something pure. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will call. Yes, I'm black. I'm proud of it. I'm black and do it. Okay, praise be to God. We are back. And I pray that we took note of what Dr. Martin Luther King mentioned. He said, I come here to plead with you that we should utilize our own self-asserted manhood, and reach down into the resources of our own soul and write our own Emancipation Proclamation, our own freedom document. Don't let nobody take your manhood away from you. Manhood is synonymous to responsibility. Responsibility. And be responsible for that which that has been placed under our charge. And that is the African American community. That is our responsibility. We should stop looking for government handouts. No one can do this for us but us. And we are grateful to have with us young men that are utilizing that self-asserted manhood, and they are accentuating the positive and addressing the needs of the community in which we are responsible for. Praise be to Almighty God. I want to our brother Kente Kaiser. He's a spoken word artist. He shared with us some of his gifts. And at this time, I would ask if he would to make another selection from what you have produced and share with us that beautiful art form, the spoken word, if you would, please.
Yes, sir, and I'll be very brief. I'm going to tie two into one. The first one is called The King in Me. The King in Me speaks to the King in you, brothers, and together we analyze and realize the true statement that life is worth fighting for. The question then must be answered, men. What are we fighting for? Are brothers fighting for a share of the market stock, or are we fighting for it's my turn to serve least well position on the block? Are brothers fighting for some land of real estate, or are we fighting because we seem to love to hate? Don't get caught up in somebody else's gift and forget you great. What are we fighting for, the present or the future? Nowadays, brothers don't want a box. They would rather shoot you and miss. Now we have to cover baby boy mother because her baby was just added to the CPS students murder list. Some black men quick to risk their life for the street. But when it comes to real issues like our children's educational system, we don't speak. Stand up, warrior. We were made by God to be strong, not weak. And if that man don't work, that man don't eat. So many brothers thinking backwards while life is moving ahead. Brothers walking around physically existing but mentally dead. I'm reminded by our brother Marcus Garvey, who challenged us by saying, of you mighty nation, accomplish what you will. How can some of the black men fight for our race when all he want to do is pop a pill? Keep it real, man. No more excuses. Either we making it happen or you in the way. Life has a balance, brother. There is a time for work and a time for play. And I'll stop right there and go right into Black Boys Rising. The system came to see. We only had 2 pot rolls from the concrete. We ain't be sorry. Solid like Darby. Stable husband mindset. We not home popping. Example with the greatness. You can do it too. Go and ask Malcolm Little Shorty what it do. Life change with the X. So little brothers can't be loyal coming out from the projects. You are not a reject. You a black star. God got your future. He gon' show you who you are. You're the educator God. So you must learn daily. You can go to college, act out like you're the hate. At 15, living your dream. You can be great even when it don't seem. Set big goals, shoot for the stars. You can have your own school like Paul Dunbar. Just think like a king because the fight get harder. But you can make it happen like George W. Carver. We all make mistakes. Leave it in the past. Now we hitting on purpose just like on the ass. So the everyday count. Everything is all in your blood, just ask Charles Drew, make it do what it do. Eat them knowledge like it's lunch, and that no good beef pies or the Mr. Ralph Bus, first person of color to receive that. I'm a black boy, can be president like Obama. See your life with your words, write life through the pen pro. Leave this type of writer like James Baldwin. Never say never. We think nigga ever. Don't be a drug dealer, be another George Miller. You can have many talents like Louis Armstrong. Don't quit on life, just keep pressing on, just keep thinking big, vision on sky. Black boys will live, black youth must try. Black boys will live, black youth must try. Even freedom got hot. Actually, it's got you can win the prize, brother. Did you think not going to accomplish what you will? We honor him until the thing God who compares you. We know about the deal. Don't forget to the grid who helped us go ahead. They stay in him to Chicago. Don't shoot him dead. More love should be spread. Injustice is a sign. Mr. Benjamin Gallagher, I think it's about time for all black youth to love self, no matter how dark. And if they don't believe us, they can ask Kim Clark. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Please, wait a minute. I got a bell here that I ring when I hear it. When I hear stuff that's so positive, that's right on point. Praise be to Almighty God. Is there a way that we could acquire this the point that I make is that we must show that we have an obligation to support the positive artists that are producing positive words, positive art form for us. We must support them. Take our support from the negative and give our support to the positive. Accentuate the positive. Thank Almighty God for you and those like you that give the positive spoken word. That was so wonderful. I'm grateful that you acknowledged all of our present and past wonderful, excellent examples in what you produce and you shared with us here. We thank Almighty God for you. And before we leave the air, we'll ask each of you for contact information. And we would like to support your work. That is a wonderful, wonderful accentuation of the positive. Praise be to Almighty God. Alhamdulillah. I want to now see if Dr. Hart is with us. I don't see him. Okay. Okay, we'll return back to our youngest member that is here with us, Centrell Belanger. He's a youth that's a freshman. I think he is a freshman in high school. My beloved brother, Centrell Belanger, would you like to add your positive statement in this conversation we're having this morning?
Yes, sir. As we were listening to the speech that he gave up, I picked up the fact that he was talking about, if you look up the word black, it gives all these negative words, which made me think about like stereotypes, like in the media and all that. It just shows like it puts a bad image on people of color, people of my color. And I just think that that's wrong because the social media bias that happens against black people, it puts a bad image on them, and then just it makes us seem like we're monsters. And I think that it's not really fair because as I was in class one day and I was reading it was a text and it was about a flood in New Orleans, I think. So there was a black man, it was a flood. So the black man, he had a bag full of stuff and they said that he was looting. But the white people, they had a picture of white people and they had stuff. And they said that they found the stuff that they had. Which I feel like if you're gonna state facts about a situation, make it be proper facts and not be biased against one another. But another thing, as the brother was talking about opportunities and stuff, opportunities, it can it can get people's head out of the gutter. Opportunities to build people and support people, to give them more of a platform to put their positive thoughts and not the negative. All the negative thoughts sounding on the negative is just going to bring people down constantly. But when you want to go up, you gotta worry about the positive. You can never worry about the negatives. Well, yeah, that's just how I feel about that whole situation. It's not really much.
Yes, thank you. That is, I wholeheartedly agree. We have a valuable statement that we utilize in the association of Imam Wafiddin Muhammad, may God grant him the highest station in the paradise, and that is, he asked that we don't buy into or utilize oppressive language, language that oppresses the human being. That we should use language that is positive and that is liberating. So what you are mentioning now, and all of us are somewhat mentioning that we have to re-identify. I believe there needs to be a re-identification of who and what we are. First off, we are human. We are human. That has been the big minus used against us from the outset of this institution of slavery, that they are not truly human. They don't possess a soul like us. They are animals in human form, you know, and there was never a question about whether we were so-called black. There was never a question of that. Matter of fact, the enemy is the one that coined that identification for us, and that the negative connotations that come with that word black, as Dr. Martin Luther King said. Look in your dictionary, and you will see that they have identified the color black as negative, something degrading. So we are working on discontinuing to identify ourselves along the lines that the enemy identified us. The question was, are they human? Not whether they are black, but are they human? So we want to try to change the identifier, change the language, you know, change the language to a more positive identifier, a more positive in identification is direction. And like someone, a Caucasian asked Malcolm, what do you want? Malcolm answered, ask yourself what it is you want. I want all of that. See? So whatever is beneficial for the human being, that is what we are struggling for. Our human rights, not our black rights, our human rights, so that we are and begin to operate and conduct ourselves as fully qualified human beings. The right of self-determination. The right of self-determination. That is a human right. So we are grateful for the language that the praise be to Almighty God that our brother was sharing with us in the spoken word that is so enriching, that is so positive. And your statements, my brother, you took note of what our beloved Dr. Martin Luther King said in the identification of so-called black. Thank you. I want to now, I see our brother Yahya Shabazz is back with us. Would you please add to this conversation we're having, Imam Yahya Shabazz?
Yes, sir, Brother Imam. Thank you so much. I want to give another quote from the study of pediatrics. The pediatrics is the official journal of the American Academy of Pediatrics. You know, and we know pediatrics is the study of childhood development. And in this study, it says this: as with popular music, the perception and the effects of music, video messages are important because research has reported that exposure to violent, sexual messages, sexual stereotypes, and use of substance abuse in music videos might produce significant changes in behaviors and attitudes of young viewers. Pediatricians and parents should be aware of this information. Furthermore, with the evidence portrayed in these studies, it is essential for pediatricians and parents to take a stand regarding music lyrics. This is so very important, Brother Imam. Again, as I was saying a little bit earlier, we have all of us on communities, and we are producing. And I'm so glad to see that we are producing. We're not just talking about taking away something, but we are producing something to replace that. Analogy that I always like to use is, and Muslims can relate to this. Back in the Nation of Islam days, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about the sweet potato pie, and he took the sweet potato pie away, but he replaced it with the bean pie. So he didn't just take something away because he was saying it was bad on our digestion. He also replaced it with something better. So when we're talking about gangster rap and the dangerous lyrics and the music, our brother on him with the spoken word and other brothers who are doing their own thing, they are replacing something negative with something positive. But we have to unite in a nationwide movement, I believe, to address the and as you said, Karriem Hameed, the FCC, contacting the FCC. We have to begin to address the fact that this gangster rap and the negative lyrics in the music, the dangerous lyrics in the music, it is no accident. It's by design. It's by design. So no matter how much good we do in the community, if we do not address this issue about taking these lyrics out of the community, we will still be suffering from this same exact problem that we have now. So one of the things that like-minded people are doing, as I said earlier, we are putting together a brochure that we want to present to our local elected officials, the chief of police, the mayors, the supervisors, the city council people, and because all the cities around this country are inundated with the same issue, a rise in crime and violence, and so we're going to present to them our findings that the primary cause in the spike in violence that we're suffering from. This is in the Chicago area, in the New York area, in the Birmingham and Montgomery, Alabama area, in the Oakland, California, Los Angeles, California area, all across the country, Connecticut. They all have one thing in common, and that is that the dangerous lyrics in the music is the primary cause of us shooting and killing each other like it's the thing to do, and how we are disrespecting our women, and if we don't begin to do something, and if we don't begin to address this issue from its root cause, we will continue to suffer the way we are doing now. So we're going to take our findings. These are scientific studies that we've done. As I said, this report that I just read to you is from it's the official journal of the American Academy of Pediatrics. And I would like for my brothers and sisters on this broadcast also to go to the internet and Google the impact. Just put it in the search engine. The impact of dangerous lyrics or musical lyrics on the minds of young black youth, of our black youth. The impact of gangster rap on the minds of our black youth. And I guarantee you will come up with information that you probably knew about, but you had not put it in the right perspective yet. And it will let you know that these dangerous lyrics in the music is one of the primary causes of the violence that we are experiencing in our inner city, in our urban areas. And I encourage you all to look at this.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else? Your mics are open. Anyone else have some? This is commentary. This is Brother Coach. Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Yes, sir. You guys hear me? Yes. Well, I want to thank all the brothers in the work. And Brother Kevin Kente is one of my products of networking and mentoring. The brother's been doing great work and continue this work despite the enticement of the money to go in the opposite direction of lyrics. And we got to compete with the corporate by dealing with the gospel young brothers and, as you say, hip hop and gangster rap. So I want to say kudos to Brother Kente. What we got to do, we also have, I'm trying to give some solutions. Hip Hop Detox in Chicago, Brother Enoch Muhammad, is a social emotional program is designed to take the poison out of hip hop. Hip hop is spoken word, last poets. Gangster rap is the B and the H word. We've been hijacked through the music, validated by Colin Powell's son, may he rest in peace, Colin Powell, his son who was at FCC at the time, allowed the airways to come upon us at a higher level to destroy black people in the music industry while we were asleep at the wheel. And from that hip-hop detox, we're taking the poison out of hip-hop, the gangster rap, and we get back to the spoken word and that also. So look up hip-hop detox, Brother Enoch Muhammad. He's also responsible for the letter that we're saying to these young men of forgiveness of what we did, like the elder did with today, and I received that, apologizing for partying and chasing women and not being there, at the same time being systematically dealt with a hidden hand. And so, but we also, Brother Coach Kabani, out of I messed up his name, Kawabina out of Gary, he's also been attacking the airways hard. So he has a petition. I'm going to give to you guys the petition name of it for us. So it's called change.org/clear the airways of dangerous lyrics. Change.org/clear the airways of dangerous lyrics. He's also been studying the FCC and put pressure on them. We got to come together with my brother that was on the line. I hope we can connect. And so he also has put a petition and has some resolutions out there to address the issue of us being violated and disrespected in that space. Clear the airways is the movement. And so what we have to do is redirect our $1.3 trillion power and lift up the young people that's talking positive. But we're going to have to get together with our sisters and brothers and shut these systems down and shut these radio stations down, because what brings the pressure we bring in men is the heat of it. But the money part is the $1.3 trillion buying power that black women have. If they stop going to work and don't go to work and don't buy that, everything stops. So the minute they go at the airways on FCC, it's over, because the advertising and most of the things are geared toward black women, and that is the movement of the day, the economics of the black woman. So once the black man get in a rightful place with our women and we attack these stations with our young people, you'll see the change. But I want to thank you, everybody, for being on here today, and I'm just honored. But we got work to do. In Chicago is a chosen city. Again, Shadrach to Jerusalem. We have a real serious question, but we're going to win this battle, because you can't argue with black children. And we talked about identity. Let me slow down. In Chicago, since 1991, there's been a black history bill on the table. And to this day, it's not being enforced. To teach black history in the state of Illinois since 1991. To teach black girls to be queens. To teach young brothers to be queens. It's a sin before God to have every national leader, every national organization, 30-something thousand black churches, Marcus Garvey, all the movements here in Cobra, and we don't hold steadfast. We have the most black elected officials elected in the state of Illinois than any other state, and still our children are in this situation. So we got to come and galvanize and put pressure. But if we don't give them their culture, then they're pulling their pants down, not because they're disrespectful, because we've been disrespectful. And I believe they're telling us to kiss their behind because we ain't done what we're supposed to. That's why they need the apology. in that light, on that note, I want to share with us where the fall began. I'm old enough to remember the 1960s. There was a social movement across this country concerning justice, and there was a demand coming from the American public, white and black, for change. I can remember we in the African American community, there was music produced by Curtis Mayfield that was very uplifting. Keep on pushing. There's a train coming. There was a lot of positive music being injected, and it was music of liberation and forward movement. But then Hollywood produced one movie, and it is entitled Superfly. Now, the same brothers that were wearing the Black Panther Tams, the black jackets, and announcing that we have a right to protect ourselves from renegade police. They established the school breakfast program. They offered free medical assistance to the African American community. But Hollywood made images are very important. Words and images. Words make people. Words form us internally. And a picture is worth 1,000 words. And they produced a movie called Superfly. It's somewhat, in their own way, it glorified the drug pusher. And he was portrayed as one that had his hair straightened and it flowed down to his shoulders. He was portrayed as one that wore long fur coats, and he wore shoes that were similar to high heels. And he carried a pouch on his shoulder, a shoulder bag. And in a very short space of time, the same brothers that were adamant about liberation and freedom, in time, the African American male grew his hair long like a woman, and it flowed down to his shoulders. The African American male put on high heel shoes like a woman. The African American male put on long fur coats like a woman. So the images that we see, the words that we hear, are very effective in taking us off course. So I'm in agreement with everyone. We must accentuate the positive in our verbiage and the images that are placed before us and our children. We are in bad shape, dear people, but there is, praise be to Almighty God, you are hearing that there is a pushback on the positive. No, yes, excuse me, a pushback on that negative image of us as men. And we're grateful to all of you men, especially you young men that have once again picked up that banner and continuing to move forward so that we can live as a viable, productive human community. Praise be to Almighty God. We applaud your efforts. Praise be to God. And it's so wonderful to have this conversation. And I'm aware that we are being heard across this country, even in foreign lands. AM 360, it reaches Brazil. It reaches Canada. Matter of fact, we have been informed that we have even been heard as far away as China. So the words that you are saying are far-reaching. Praise be to Almighty God. And the efforts are far-reaching. Praise be to Almighty God. I want to once again share the statements of our beloved Dr. Martin Luther King. Let them seep into your soul and into your consciousness and actuate and shape our behavior. Once again, the words of our beloved Dr. Martin Luther King. I come here tonight and plead with you. Believe in yourself and believe that you're somebody. As I said to the group last night, nobody else can do this for us. No document can do this for us. No Lincolnian Emancipation Proclamation can do this for us. No Johnsonian Civil Rights Bill can do this for us. If the Negro is to be free, he must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with the pen and ink of self-proclaimed manhood his own emancipation. Don't let anybody take your mind. Be proud of our heritage. Somebody said earlier tonight, we don't have anything to be ashamed of. Somebody told a lie one day. They couched it in language. Everything black, ugly, and evil. Look in the dictionary and see the synonyms of the word black. It's always something degrading and low and sinister. Look at the word white. It's always something pure. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will call. Yes, I'm black. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. Okay. We are back. Those words seek into our consciousness and see that no one can do this for us. We must step down into our self-asserted manhood, and write our own document of emancipation, of liberation. And I'm thinking that our brother, Reason Fellows, the founder of the National Black Agenda, he mentioned something that is very important that we must take note of in this conversation, and that is our financial situation. That Imam Wahid Muhammad, may the prayers of peace be upon him, he said to us, look, I'm serious. You are under financial others or occupy the entrepreneurial space, the financial space in our community. We must address that. I'm not saying running anybody out of business. I'm not saying going and forcing people from out of our area that are supplying vital, necessary sustenance. I'm not saying that, no. That we have the right to establish our own businesses that supply the needs of our own community and encourage each other to support the businessmen that look like us. Support them and stop giving our money to people that are not us, that do not give back and add any value to the community for which they are gleaning financial benefit. We want the young man to put down his dope bag, and as Imam Yahya has stated, there has to be something to replace that. And I believe, given the moral content, we establish a sense of morality once more that I'm hearing from everyone assembled here, that the decision will be made to not engage in illegal activity, especially in drug sales that destroys the family. It destroys the very nucleus of community life. We must strengthen ourselves financially. We must stop being satisfied with just being consumers. We want to enter into the investment class, whereby we invest in ourselves and each other to strengthen our community financially. Is there anyone that would like to make statements on that subject matter? Your mic is open. Well, this is just one that word. Go ahead, sir. As black men, African American men, and human, we want to begin to call on each other. That when we see our men disrespecting our women, we have to call their attention to it. Our community is judged by the treatment of its women. We have to start uplifting our women. We got to discontinue using derogatory language toward our women. And last but not least, we have to start, as men, we have to start believing in marriage again. Our community won't grow unless we start family. And we have to marriage. We got about four minutes of broadcast time left. And if each of you would give some contact information, we would greatly appreciate it. But please be as brief as possible. I'm under the pressure of the clock. 510-686. Okay. Yes. Please share with us your contact information. Okay, I think that's a caller that had called in. And excuse me, a caller, for not being able to bring you in to the conversation, but your mic is open. Area code 737-787. Please share with us your contact information, if you would, please. That is Centrail Belanga, the high school youth. Okay, we'll move forward. Let me see. 773-787. Please share with us your contact information. Oh, that is Centrail. Okay. Yes, sir. If you would.
773-787-8417 is my direct line, and my email is kiger@gmail.com. And I would love to add value to any youth opportunity around the country.
Thank you, my brother. Okay, Brother Dion Harden, the founder of You Break It, You Fix It. I don't see him here, but anyway, I'll move forward. Brother Reuben Fellows, the founder of the National Black Agendas. Share with us your contact information, if you would, please.
Yes, sir. 773-969-9644. 969-9644. And 1kmanmarch.com. May 7th, Black men will be in Chicago marching for women and respecting our women. And we're going to change the language of Martin Luther King Poor March on the Poor People's Campaign to Streets Gotta Eat Voters Registration Campaign. We're going to go march on to get a check that came back insufficient funds based on the streets got to eat. The young people are going to elect the next generation.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Reuben. Imam Yahya Shabazz, have I asked you if you will share your contact information with us, please? You got about 1 minute.
Yes, sir. My phone number is 925-282-9595. My brother with the Black Agenda, please write this down. 925-282-9595. My email address is Yahya, that's as the police say.
I got 90 seconds in that.
Yellow. Okay, I want to make it at gmail.com.
What was the first three for zip code?
Zip code. 925. And 925-282-9595.
Okay, got you. All right, thank you all for volunteering your precious time this morning. And we ask those of you on American Muslim 360 to dial back in to the broadcast for the broadcast of Halal Industries. It is hosted by the beloved Imam Wali Ayub Bilal, and we ask that you stay tuned for optimal health. It is hosted by our beloved brother Abdul Shaheed. This program is centered around optimal health. Praise be to Almighty God. We thank you all, and we leave you with the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
And we thank all of you. Women, stay on with us. We are going to have a 30-minute after show. And we ask that you be a part of the discussion. You can call in 515-605-9325. Well, now you have to join us on the Female Solution Facebook page.
Go to www.facebook.com/thefemalesolution. Leave comments about today's show. You can always reach me on my website at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Watch our TV shows, listen to our radio shows, order our books, and be sure to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion.
Stay with us, and we'll have a brief after show. And if you'd like to join us on Facebook Live for visual image, you can go to the Female Solution on Facebook and write in your comments. And we'll take a few minutes, next 30 minutes, and kind of think about what we heard. the men say as
Spain.
we
Gracias.
say thank you to our global listening audience
Egypt.
on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show.
Medasi. Nigeria. Eshe. South Africa. Gabonga. Senegal. Geret. Kenya. Asante. Israel. Toda. Pakistan. Shukriya. Afghanistan. Tashakur. Saudi Arabia. Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you. And may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
All right, we are now in the after show. And we thank you all for joining us. I believe we've got our sisters, Sister Zelda, and also Maika was with us. Did she hang up? Maybe she got disconnected. She won't be able to call back in. But Zelda, you're still with us? Can you hear me? Oh no. Okay, here we are. And let me see if I can make sure we're heard. Oh, got it. Turn up the volume here. All right, wait a minute. All right, there we go. Can we hear me now? All right, and we've got a hand up. Let me see. Let me open the mic for 773-263 and all right, wonderful. 773-263, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I believe we got Sister Rashida and we've got Zelda on the line. And we are certainly happy to have heard. Yes, great. Okay. And Deborah is listening in with us on our Facebook page. And we've got Zelda with us, and I think Maika might have gotten disconnected, but I'll send her the link if she wants. I don't know if she'll be able to join us on Facebook Live, but I thought today's discussion was quite inspiring. So turn this one off. So Rashida, what did you think?
I thought it was excellent, and I think it was great.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of thing we've been hoping for all this time. We're hoping to see an awakening, that hoping to hear men realize that they have been part of a deliberate scheme to steer them toward violence with the music, and the fact that so many of them unconsciously are perpetuating the situation by spewing out lyrics that are degrading to us as females. And Deborah Smith says she's hopeful. And I believe that all it took really was for people of like mind to connect, and those who are conscious to get with each other and strengthen each other, so that we could see that the conscious really are more powerful than the unconscious when it comes to changing the direction of our society. But I want to ask you all this question. Now, I don't have sons, and I know there are many women out there that do have sons. And I think that there is something that we can do as women when we have male children. And perhaps the relationship with the father may not be as harmonious as we would like. We may not be together as a couple. But I think there's something that we can do, even if the father has issues, even if he's made some mistakes in life, even if he's got some habits that are undesirable. We chose him, so we must have seen some good in him at the time. I think there's some things that we can do to prevent our sons from having such negative self-esteem, because maybe we have presented their father as not a desirable image of a man. We tend to, when we break up, we tend to get angry, and we want everybody to feel like this man is no good, and that's why I'm not with him. And we even tend, some of us in our anger, to relate those thoughts to the sons of the man whom we've broken up with. And how can the son feel good about himself if we're running down his father? This is a trend that I see, that I would hope we as conscious women would help others not to do that. But Zelda, what are your thoughts on that? And Rashida, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that we need to be motivated to do better. And once we understand what we've been doing incorrect, then we can correct it. But most of us haven't been trained or do not understand that we don't know the right thing to do. So programs like you're having and discussions, I think that's a good approach to study. To see it different than the systematic way of thinking that brought us to that level.
Well, that's a very significant thing you just said, that we don't know what to do. I think that's a real key to the reason why we do the wrong thing, because we don't know. And we don't know that we're damaging our children by wanting them to share our anger when our relationship breaks up. We don't know that I'm gonna have to close the mic. I think we might have an echo here. One of the things that we keep doing, we tend to want to bash the men because we're hurt. And that's what is a lot of the difficulty that we're creating. We're hurt, and we want people to side with us. We want the children to side with us. We want, we want to feel like we're right. We're the one that's right in this conflict. That's what we want to feel. And so we'll badmouth the man to the children, to our friends, to his friends, because we're hurt. And we're not thinking about whatever good that he could be doing for his children. We've damaged him in their eyes because we want them to take our side and be against him as well. We want them to feel like they've been abandoned and divorced and cheated on and whatever else we're angry at. We want them to feel our pain. And that's what we end up doing, is creating pain. And so we have to learn how to not do that. And that's really the bottom line, us not doing that when we are, after we have perhaps not been, maybe we're no longer in a personal relationship with the man, we have to not beat him down. And so if we can manage to change that behavior, then even for those of us who have children with someone that we are no longer in a romantic relationship with, we can still peacefully coexist. We can still co-parent. And we can still say positive things about each other. So, Rashida, do you think that that's something that women can learn how to do? Can we learn how to co-parent, even though we might be not involved with the father of our children? Can we learn how to peacefully co-parent so that our children can get the positive impact from the men that are their fathers? One of the things that I discovered in the process of doing research in the book that became the book, The Female Solution, I discovered all these statistics that showed how the crime and violence was directly correlated to the absence of fathers in the home. It's something like, the statistics are something like 87% of the men serving time in prison and juvenile detention centers come from fatherless homes. And we're joined on our Facebook Live page with Zelda. Thank you.
Grand Rising.
So it was good to hear.
I believe that that's true about the fatherless homes, because I have a son, and when my husband and I were divorced, my son he just literally started mingling with what I call the undesirables, but he tells me as an adult that he learned a lot from those people, those men that he took on with. They were older men, and I now understand why he thought he learned a lot. It was because he never wanted to be sheltered or smothered or have a lot of nurturing from me. So when he became, a teenager, he took up with older men.
Yes, Mike,
the older men were not mentors in a positive way.
Yes, so now you're on.
That were street and green. And those are the people he thinks he learned from, because they were different than me. And the nurturing that I was trying to give, because I was coming from a motherly female aspect, when he wanted the masculine, and the masculinity he found were with the Jeff Fords and people like that. So it destroyed, and then he started growing into that demeanor, and he was angry and all of that, and he wound up going to jail, not because of robbing or stealing the drugs. He went to jail because of his short temper. Somebody shot him at the bus stop, and I had been seeking out for my son for a long time in the community, because he went at Muslim school closed. He went to public school, and it was close to my mother, so he would go to my mother while I worked. And they wouldn't tell me, and I was going crazy. Where's my son? My son was in jail because he sought out the man who shot him at the bus stop and got a gun from the neighbor and shot the man, but he didn't kill him, fortunately. So that's what we need mentors for, because everybody can't be married, and everybody is not married. And we need to have a strong leadership trying to develop a pave a way for our youth that doesn't have fathers, so we can keep up all of those institutions, because in my opinion, once they go into that system, then it becomes part of their way. It becomes like a career for them. So inshallah, we could have a team, build teams of men and women that can sort of heal a young man who came from fatherless family, because we want the designers of that
that's Rashida, yes.
program, and there's a lot of Europeans that don't have husbands, that children are not in the system.
Yeah, Rashida, not
Is this part of the
yes.
afterwards?
Yes, so we have on our live line, we have Maika and we have Rashida on our live line, and joining us on our Facebook page, we have Zelda and we have Deborah. So we're getting a chance to kind of do this after show, looking at what we heard and even ways that we can, as women, support the positive things that the men are trying to do. And Maika, we have Zelda and we have Deborah. So I need somebody to mute their thing. Yeah. But what Rashida was sharing, Maika, is her own story with her son, and what happens, the anger that happens sometimes when sons don't have fathers there, and how they gravitate toward men who are doing negative things. But in the mind of the son, this is a strong man. This is a figure to emulate. He's somebody who represents manhood. And that happens a lot when we don't have the positive male images in their lives and we don't have the good relationship with their fathers. So, well, Maika, you've raised a son, so you have, experience in how you deal with perhaps a son who's growing into manhood, who may be angry, who may even, have issues with his father. How does a woman keep her son from going astray or following the wrong type of man? What are your thoughts on that?
One of the things that I heard her say, everybody who's not married, there's a thing called community. You develop community, and within the community there can be strong men if women attract that. There has to be an attractive force to bring strong, principled men into the community to support the raising and the protection and the guidance of the children. It doesn't always have to be married. I was telling some brothers recently, if a sister and a brother, that if you come upon a woman who has sons and he needs fathers, would you welcome them into your relationship in some form or another? And the sister immediately went to, well, I want my own man. I don't want my man to be with no other woman. I said, well, it's not like that. Her mind automatically jumped to something that she was not neutral about. That she had preconceived scripts that somebody had given her about polygamy or polygyny or what have you. I said, it doesn't have to be like that. Every man, just because a woman is around a man doesn't mean he has to sex her. That could be just a sister, a friend, somebody who's working in one of the institutions that they're building. Sex is for marriage, but there are other relationships between men and women also that we don't focus on developing. And as a result, we lack because we were sexualized in slavery. So everything is looked at from the perspective of sex, that sex has to be a part of it. We have to have understandings and agreements about when that is and when that isn't. And then we have to be able to protect the children. That's what's important. We have to be there's so many different perversions and people who are perverted out here that they have to be vetted for real. You have to vet people in relationships, having them around children.
That's true.
And it could be anybody. It could be a preacher. It could be a teacher. Just because you have a PhD or a degree or a license doesn't mean that you don't have these kind of perversions. So we have to learn how to psychically understand the nature of people and prevent these kind of things from happening because they're real. That's one of the biggest problems in bringing children together. Is somebody going to sex them? That is, impose on them their script for sexuality and instead of letting the child develop that naturally on its own. So we have these problems and we have to come up with solutions. And the only way that I found to come up with real lasting solutions with people is when we come together and heal.
if we continue to hold on to the scripts of the past, I mean, imagine a solid block of ice, and you hate this person, that's in the ice. You got a grudge against that person. You can't talk to this person. This happened to you and that happened to you. So you're still remembering those things. So all that energy that it takes to hold that into place, it's energy that's needed in the now, because all that stuff's in the past.
Right.
Needed in the now to be created to solve the problems of the now. But we won't let that energy from the past freeze over. We won't clear it. We won't go to therapy to clear it up. So all we got is complaints and stories about what happened to me and how it happened and all that. But no real solutions, because we have to have energy to come up with solutions.
Right.
So we got to ignore the past, and we got to become present. That's healing. And that most of that past is encountered in your emotional life, and you have to clear your emotional being. That can't be emphasized enough. The script that was given to us is healing is in relationship to physical healing and mental healing. Both of those are after effects of emotional illness. You have to start with the emotion. And Rashida, I've talked to you over and over again about healing your emotions and even giving you demonstrations, you, Naima, and other people, on how that's possible. Why all of y'all ain't learned how to be therapists in emotional healing, I don't know, because that's the greatest need out here. People who know how to heal. Mike, you can't heal everybody. Naima, you talk about past life regression. I don't know why you ain't become a past life hypnotherapist.
That's in the works. Thank you for the encouragement.
Yes, ma'am. That's what's needed out here. We got to pick up these healing modalities so that we can come together as a community of healers.
That is
People
true.
who can help each other. We can help each other. I live in an insane asylum right now. I can't even begin to tell you the insanity that exists in people in Pembroke based on having been raised as poverty-stricken people.
Wow.
It's all poverty for them. It's all people been giving to them over and over again, but they don't know how to give back. That's why the community is what they're so used to receiving, because they're so poor.
They see themselves as poor.
We got a problem.
Yeah. And that is what happens when once you define yourself as poor and helpless. That's the situation you create, even when you have abundance, even when you have wealth like land. If you see yourself as poor, you won't know what to do with all your things. If you see yourself as poor, you can be a hoarder and you got all kinds of stuff you can be selling on eBay and making money, but you see yourself as poor. And
that's
so
the mentality, right?
And so
that's
you're poor.
Create. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So we have to heal ourselves and help heal each other so that we can take advantage of this new energy that's coming onto the planet. It has nowhere to settle with us because we still don't know all that crazy stuff from the past that happened.
Still angry,
we got to
still
make room
hurt.
for the new. This is a new world we're in now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, well, Zelda, let me ask you, because you are doing some great work with young people all around the world with these teen talent competitions, bringing us a whole different energy of young people that just, they don't seem to have any mental or emotional restrictions on what they can be. So what do you think it takes to remove some of that, as Maika said, that old energy of helplessness, of defectiveness, of self-hate? What does it take to bring the creativity out of our young people and to give them a vision of what they can create and become so that they can let all that old energy go? What do you think?
I'm in 100% agreement with Maika on these modalities that are available to help us in the process of healing. And I'm none of those, in which I'm glad to hear that you are, and Maika is. One of the things that this global virtual teen talent contest, which airs, by the way, this Saturday at 12 noon until 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, is that this group of youth from all over the world, they don't have the hangups that we have. I'm noticing that. They are full-fledged, full force. This is my talent. I recognize it. and I am moving forward. And the ones, they're kids and they're youth rather, and they still have their little idiosyncrasies, but they are evolving in such a way. It makes me think that, well, I know that they already have everything that they need inside them. And many of them, like the young man from, I can't remember what city he was in, the one who sounds like John Legend and John
Oh
Legend and
yeah.
him.
Oh yeah.
He was talking mindfulness practices to me. I don't know if he was aware of it. Yeah, he was aware of it because he mentioned it. And they have, what are they, 13 to 19? They have such a wealth of knowledge that they are expressing at these young ages, and it just baffles me. I was like, wow, you know that at 13? I didn't know that until I was 30. Really? And Deborah was shaking her head. Yeah, they are like this new group of children from all around the world.
They grow up fast because of the information age. They
Yes,
have access to information from
yes,
everywhere, so they mature fast.
yes, and they are using it to their advantage. So even though it may look doomy and gloomy right about now, this new generation they're on a whole nother level.
They are.
So I don't see us flatlining at all. We're growing. We're just not seeing it in record numbers like we want to see it. But it's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I promise you, it's happening.
And we have to stop putting our weight on them. That's
Oh
that's what
Yes,
happens. We put our weight,
yes,
our traditions,
yes,
our ideas. We put them on the children, and that's what they wanna satisfy us. So then they say, oh well, maybe that's what I should do. No, no. You see, they know what we know, plus they're still learning,
yes,
just
yes,
as we should be still learning.
yes,
yeah,
But we get so bogged down with should I not, do I not, and we have to be free spirits. What happened to when we were free spirits? Do you all remember that at
yeah,
oh
one
yeah,
time we
oh
were
yeah,
free spirits? That's what we have to remember and continue. And we have to let them grow the way they want to grow.
mm,
If they want to wear their hair purple, pink, or blue,
I
that's
love it.
their
Love it.
creativity.
I
We
love it.
used to do it. If
I
they
love
want
it.
to wear checkerboards and circles, that's their
I love it.
creativity. I
No
I have
mold.
challenges when they showing their booty,
Yeah.
and I said, you know what? Why do you have to show the skin? But they have the pants now that they have the decorative underwear we think is underwear, but they're short, and they still have their own underwear, but the pants are so they're making the pants so short from the hip huggers. Remember the
low
hip huggers
riders where you see.
wear?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay, so these are hip huggers that they're wearing, but they had they shorts on, and then they still had their drawers on. Most of them, I do when I see the cracks, I'm like, pull them up.
I don't need to.
But that's
I
their
don't need to
way
see
of
your assets.
expression,
Nope.
just
I need to see
like
your assets.
we had our way, and our
Yeah.
parents did what they did, and told us pull those skirts
Same
down.
thing. Same thing.
It's
Same
the
thing.
same thing. We
What we
have
say
to
about
let these
tradition?
Yeah,
children.
tradition is what is it? Peer pressure
Peer
from
pressure
this.
from dead people.
Yes.
Yes.
Tradition.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah.
This
I
brother.
had four boys, and we
Yeah.
had my husband was in the house.
Hmm.
We had a village,
That's
and I still brought in the village. The men who could be role models. You
yeah.
still watch, and I wanted my children and their friends in the house near me. That way I
Mhm.
knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, they say, well, how can you deal with all that noise and all that in and out? I know where they are.
That's
I know the characters. I learned the characters of their associates. They don't
mm,
have friends. I told them all the time, you don't have friends. They're not your friends. They're your associates.
Yes.
mm.
Use
You
that
have to
word
be
carefully.
careful. I'm your only friend.
That's right.
I'm
Because
your
I'm the
only
one that's
friend. But
helping you
yes, we
feed you,
still
clothe you, nourish you, mentor you. Yeah, I'm your friend. Believe that.
and we had challenges in our relationship, my husband and I. We went through
Who
that.
doesn't?
But exactly, you talk to anybody who's been together any point of year.
Right.
You know those people who you celebrate been together 50 to 100 years.
65 years.
Talk to
Yes,
them.
they've been through some things,
They've been through some things.
Yeah.
So, we all go through some things, but we don't let it hold us down. We don't hold on to it. We evolve even in ourselves. If your partner's not ready to come with you, you keep them there. It's never a 50-50.
Mm.
It's never 50-50. If it's 50-50, you better look over and see, okay, where is this next challenge going to come from and be
Okay.
ready for
Because
it
you know it's coming.
because you know it's coming.
Mm.
And you deal with it and you better yourself. You respect yourself and respect others. And that's one of the things why what the gentlemen were talking about, how they're trying to corral these young folks and understanding even the music, what you're saying, the language you're speaking, some of these words that the people say to each other in jest, they think it's okay, but it's not. It may be okay for you all. It doesn't sound good for me, and do not come to me with it.
Yes.
Do not
Thank
call
you.
me
but
out of
no
my
thank
name. Here's my name.
you. No.
Don't pronounce it incorrectly if I care for you.
Right.
If I think we're gonna have a relationship, I'm gonna let you know. But all those other side names and whatnot,
Yeah.
no. Those are dogs and other animals.
So
That's
that's
not us.
One of the
That's
things
not
we do.
you.
well, that's one thing that when they talk about using the B word to describe us, and then H and every other letter,
And that it's okay.
but how does a man get that idea unless it's given to him either by older men or other women?
By women, because I've
Women,
had that challenge
yes.
with older women coming on to my
Women
children,
here.
my sons, and I would have to corral that. Oh yes,
Yeah, we don't know. You don't
yes,
call that. You
and
don't
and
call that
then
girl that. No.
they
Somebody
give
has
them
to do it.
anything. They give them everything. I'm more on the side of my daughter-in-laws and whatnot. How do you put up with that stuff? Don't put up with that. Don't the man better for you. The man better for your children. You
Yeah.
don't have to put up with that shenanigans.
And we have to realize that we are, and I think that's a problem with a lot of women. We don't realize that we're really in control.
Yes.
Just let them think that they're in control.
Impress us. So we set our
That
standards.
part.
What is
Yeah, you in control. Yeah, baby, you got to go ahead and do what you got to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're gonna do. And that part you said about the names, we
right?
have got to get to the point where we, talking about myself, close this and open these.
Gotta
Because
listen.
we don't realize that the words that we put out there are magnets. Like we
Yes.
talk about the people in Pembroke who have that mentality, that poverty mentality. They have it because they have not experienced anything else. So you will keep that mentality until you do all your antennas.
Yeah.
You're receiving negativity all day, all night, even in your sleep, because that's the thought that you're putting
Yeah.
out, and that's
And
what's
they're afraid. They're
and the mind
afraid.
is a magnet, and you have not been trained how to control that magnet. That's what mindfulness is all about.
Or
And
put
that's
Yes.
something else in the mind, because if you never go anywhere,
Tell Willie Wilson we need a mayor out here who got ideas to advance community development and city life.
so
That's
you
what we need.
so you want to run for mayor. So how long does he have to be a resident of Pembroke before he can run for mayor
I
out
don't know, but I'll certainly find out.
Find out. See if we can get him down there. I'll send him a text now. Let him know.
Yes. That's right.
I sure will, because they would appreciate him, and he would bring resources to
Yeah.
that community.
He would be, but their mind has to change.
Yes,
Mind.
they do.
You can give and give, but if they still have that mentality, their
Yeah.
Right.
mind
You're right.
It won't help. It'll be
Process.
like out of
We need to bring
a
the whole
hole in the
shebang
pot.
down there.
That's a false script.
Well,
That's
the
a tour.
emotions.
That's a tour.
If you feel bad about yourself, that's the emotion that you're carrying. That there's something of lesser value in you. That's what you're feeling about yourself. So
that
if you
sounds
feel
like the
bad-
Female Solution tour, mindfulness tour.
Yeah,
That's
we need
fine
to
with
go down to
me. A
Pembroke.
garden tour.
Yes, there we go. So we need to when we bring our farming program down there, and maybe we need to do it, once a week, once a month, whatever it is. We need to go and physically interact, grow food, talk to the people, have a whole session of empowerment. You
And
have
do it in the dirt.
Chicago, Naima, go and identify the plant.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
That'd be powerful here because there's so many varieties, such a variety.
yes.
Well, we're due for a trip anyway, Maika. We way overdue. So
So
soon as we can get a little heat.
bring the mayor with us.
Yeah. Mayor Willie Wilson, calling Mayor Willie Wilson of Pembroke, Illinois. You need it down there. You need it everywhere, honey.
Put out a t-shirt. Pembroke matters. Why? Because we are food growers.
Ooh, there you
These
go.
people are experts in growing food without chemicals. That's who we got down here. They need to pass that on to another generation.
Yes. So that our young people know that is the key to wealth, is the land, the food. Everything starts with that.
Correctly.
Yes.
Because all this stuff they telling you to buy on TV,
All these farmers are going out of business now, these big commercial farmers, because fertilizer is so expensive, the chemicals and stuff that they've been putting on the land. See, the land is just like a human being. If you start giving him I guess a teaspoon of heroin, I don't know what anything about it. The next time you got to give a teaspoon and a half. The next time, 2 teaspoons. You know, it's more and more.
More and more.
Every time you give it to them. And that's where the land is with these chemicals. So they can't afford to keep farming and with
Chemicalized
the
farming.
It's a real food crisis now because they're not being successful. And all of the major food industries around big cities have been destroyed.
Wow.
And remember the immigrants? They were the people down in the South who came in illegally most times, but they got to be a part of a food growing system that assured that you had food on your table. They gone. They've been taken back home, or
all the people they deported.
So now, what are you going to eat?
What you gonna eat?
It's a real situation, and it's an industry that is the foundation of all industries. Everything comes out of our relationship with the land, our food, our clothing, our shelter, our transportation, our communication, and our energy. So we have a perfect foundation for building a civilization.
That's right.
It's real. We can't ignore that. We can't keep talking about the past and what happened to us. We just have that energy in the now. We got to think, what can we do now? We got land. What can we do with it?
So spring should be coming around April, I would think.
Yeah.
Spring is here.
Spring is here.
It is here.
Yes, spring
Not in Chicago.
Planting season. So it's upon us now. I don't think we're going to have another snow. It's Chicago. We may have one more before.
You never know in Chicago. But see, that's why we got to get into year-round agriculture where we have tunnels and things
hot
like
houses
that.
and things.
Year-round. We got to be able to feed ourselves. And it's just serious. And we need minds, intelligent people to come together so that we can make this happen for generations to come. That's what caring, loving adults and parents do. And pastors and people who really love, they give to what the need is. The real need right now is food. Believe me, you might have it on your table now. But based on how things are going, you ain't got no guarantees for the future.
Sure don't.
That's true. Well, I'm thinking, and we'll probably do this off air because we might have to take a little bit of discussion, but we'll figure out maybe the first or second week in April, we'll go down, take that trip down to Pembroke and just start the process, because that's really what we need to do.
I'm going to have some plots for y'all to plant into. I'm going to have some land prepared.
All right.
So you can plant some seeds. I'm encouraging people to plant what's called the 3
Three sisters.
No.
I never heard that.
We have now.
Native American. What'd you say, Zelda?
We have now.
Okay, it's a Native American tradition where you plant there are three plants, and you can put others in there too. But you have beans, corns, and watermelons or squash. So you make a mound, and you put the beans down, and they become the vines that grow up the corn or amaranth or any grain that you want to put out there, right? And then it puts nitrogen. The beans put nitrogen in the ground to help the other plants grow.
Ooh.
And then you have your watermelon or your cantaloupes or any vine vegetable like a fruit like that, and they cover the ground so no weeds grow. So once you plant it, it grows, and then you come back at the harvest. You don't have to cultivate because the ground is covered, so there's no weeds, and there's plenty of because it's covered also. So as a result, you have a big harvest. We'll have some sites for you to put your 3 seeds in or more. Decide what you want to grow. But I'll have some land prepared for you.
All right. I look forward to that. I'll have my GoPro on my head so I can.
Well, Maika, I don't know what your schedule is like, but is it possible maybe the second Wednesday of every month you can come on the show with me and co-host and talk about farming, talk about some ways people can be preparing whatever plot of land they might be living on and some of the projects that we're doing out in Pembroke. So I think that would be great.
Ideas too. That's a wonderful invitation. And I accept.
Well, all righty.
All right, then.
Yes.
We've got to go there. Women have always been in control of the food production of their people. We were given the wrong scripts that said we were slaves and we had to, then they forced people into the field. We got to get that slave mentality out of people so they'll understand their relationship to the land, their relationship to being a part of the food growing. And because you don't use chemicals, that's why you can invite the children to the land. That's why the children were chased away because of the chemicals. It'll kill them. But when we growing naturally and normally, then the children can be a part of that landscape that we're creating. And they can flourish. They got to be worried about bullets flying and all the other stuff that goes on in the city in close proximity to them. I don't even hear ambulances. You heard the birds singing. I'm like the same way. I hear birds in the morning.
Isn't that
That's
something?
my family.
What a blessing.
You deserve that too. And I also want to do some workshops down here on grounding. Come on out here. And we can
Yes.
I'm
I'm ready to stick my feet in the dirt.
Yes, that would be fantastic. Well, here we go.
It's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world.
We gotta create it, and I think once people see it happening, then they can get out of that mindset of helplessness, because we've been holding on to that victim mentality too long, and it has us paralyzed.
And they have to see us moving and working and doing it.
Yes.
Yeah. When they see that, they can come out of it.
They can come out of it.
Become the new models.
That's right. That's right. That's what it takes. Well, I'm excited. And if I knew somebody somewhere that had some cows, I'll scoop up some natural fertilizer and bring it. We can go and fertilize all the ground out there.
That's something that you can begin doing now. That's composting.
Yeah. Well, I got some composting. I've been creating all. Yeah.
Apple, pears, any kind of vegetable scraps. You can save them and bring them out here so that we can put them in the compost pile and turn it into fertilizer, natural fertilizer.
Right.
So that's begun now with city people. City people need to do that.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? You just gave me a great idea, because I got 2 big bins of composting material. I've been saving banana peels, potato skin, all that stuff. You put it together with dried leaves and soil and all that, and it creates fertilizer. A lot of city people don't know that, and so they don't things that could be recycled. So we can actually create ways where people can recycle, because we talked about that even when we did the farm show, first time. Have three containers in your kitchen. One for recyclable things like cardboard and plastic. The others for recyclable food products you can use for compost, like your, the peelings and so forth, and shavings off of fruits and vegetables and all of that. And then your third one is, your garbage, your waste that can't be recycled. Meat scrappings. You can't really recycle those. So that's basically garbage. That's going to go into whatever garbage landfill. But those other two things can be reused. And Deborah, you were going to say?
Yeah, I have a question. When you have your 3 bins and the one that's for the compost,
Mm-hmm.
you don't keep it in the house.
Well, that would be in your kitchen until you take it outside.
Right.
You
And put it in another container
and you
outside,
move
like
in
a metal container or a plastic container.
Yeah,
Now,
because
can I still store it in a plastic bag?
well, once you
Or does
take it
it
outside,
have to be in a brown paper bag?
Uh,
Yeah, because a plastic bag will make it wet.
Yeah, you can keep it in plastic until you take it to where you're going to dump it in the soil.
Okay.
Oh, so you can't keep it in plastic.
But what I have, because I have 2 of those, what do you call those plastic bins? Anyway, I have 2 plastic bins outside where I'm keeping all my composting. So I have all my food scraps in there. I've mixed it with things like dried grass and leaves, because that's what you do. You mix it in there. And soil. Matter of fact, when I was doing the farming classes, I was explaining, the what things are providing nitrogen, what things are providing carbon. Those are the things that you're mixing together that creates the fertilizer, for the natural fertilizer for the ground.
That's
so
chemistry.
Yes. So hey, we're gonna be teaching chemistry as we teach farming. Absolutely. Yes.
People didn't get it in school. They didn't get it.
Yeah.
We have to educate not just the children, but the parents too.
Right.
We were miseducated.
Right. We were miseducated.
To be cultural. Culture comes out of agriculture. That's how culture develops.
Agriculture. Dang.
Agriculture, right. So when the culture develops, it's like say math. How many rows you gonna have? How many pounds of produce gonna come as a result of how many rows? You teach math in agriculture.
Yeah.
You can teach English. You can teach all of it. And I have a map of that. I'm gonna get it to you all. A friend of mine has it in Chicago, but I got to get it from her. But it's a map, and it shows you how every educational element can be taught in the aspect of agriculture.
Oh, that's gonna be great. We're gonna take this land, and then we're gonna bring young people out here to be working
the genius
on
of
harvest.
the genius.
See, yes.
The genius of
see how it works. Yes.
They become what's called the 21st century industrialists,
Yes.
not job seekers.
Right.
They'll be engaged in industrial.
Yes.
Agriculture is an industry.
Yes, it
Our
is.
children are not introduced to industry in a positive way.
Right.
We have to do that.
Yes, we have to do that, and they will see the world differently. They'll see a plot of land differently. I'm telling you, when I learned the value of dandelions and dandelion greens, I saw the whole earth differently. I go over to somebody's house for a barbecue. I'm looking in the grass like, ooh, food, Man, I scoop a little bit up.
Do you do that? Do you go pick the dandelion?
Yeah.
All right. Did you ever make dandelion wine?
I haven't made the wine.
Alcohol, but it don't be alcoholic from my perspective.
Well, I made the dandelion chips, and
I'm drinking dandelion tea right now.
Hey, see? So you got tea, you can make snack chips, you can make greens, you can make a meal. So it's so much that can be done with these plants that we have been poisoning as weeds all these years, because like you say, we've been miseducated. So once people see us do this, they'll see the value that we have. They'll see the wealth that they already have, that they're living on and walking on every day. We are not poor people. We are wealthy beyond measure. It's right in our hands. We just have to see it. So we can change this whole mindset and bring some excitement to it. When you have a lot of fun, and that'll change. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the Doll Museum out here?
Yes, we saw that. Didn't we see the Doll Museum? We went to see that, didn't we?
Yes.
They collected, and they can't even get it out so the world can see it, because the energies aren't available who know how
do those kind of things. You know, when the creativity does come forth.
Yeah.
So we can draw unto us everything that we need. We just have to be in agreement. This is a sisterhood thing. We got to demonstrate that women can be liberated. We have to.
Yes.
We can't continue to allow the highest attainment of women was to create Roe versus Wade and upholding of it and continue maintenance of it.
No.
Come on, we gotta go beyond that.
Freedom is the freedom to create life. That's what makes you free. When you can create life and sustain and maintain life. That's freedom. And that's what women represent. And when we show that, we can inspire our daughters, because our daughters need to see the power that they have as the creators of life. And I understand what you're saying, Rashida. Everybody can't be married. We have to stop. We have to redefine family, first of all. And second of all, when we see a sister who may be a single parent, we can't put that vibration on her that she has failed, you know, and or any of that, because whatever happened, whatever lesson she learned and the coming together of whatever brother it was that she made that life with, or was the marketplace, just like she went on the means through which that life came to this program. Laura, you have to let her know she's still valuable, still powerful, she's still shaping a mind, a heart, and a soul, and she still has to love herself, because you can't give what you don't have. And if you don't have love for yourself, you're not gonna be able to give it to that child.
Right.
Your feeling of shame, your feeling of low self-esteem and unworthiness, you're going to give that to them, and that's what they're going to give to the world, and that's what's been happening.
Exactly, and that's what shows. That's what. We don't have. We got to grow men. That's a project in and of itself. Growing them so that they can be a part of what we're a part of. They can support us. We're doing something so meaningful that they come and they support and give of themselves to assist us. That way we attract men around us and around our children and into our lives. But we have to create a framework in which to manage it as it comes through. And that's community. We have to develop community. It's an organic process.
Yes, it is.
Once it gets going, it's like kudzu. You know, but y'all know about kudzu?
I've heard of that. I've seen it.
Everybody done been down the south and seen the plant that covers all the trees and stuff. The vine that grows real fast.
Yeah.
That's kudzu. We got to be like kudzu. Growing.
And you know, once the men rediscover who they are, they will be transformed, because it's in them already. The greatness is in them already. It's like covering something over with mud. You know, you got to dig the mud out and you see the gold underneath. So that's what we got to do. Yeah.
All these brothers coming out of prison, they don't have a welcoming
committee.
Platform by which they can enter into. But their brothers is rich. They've been put aside to meditate. You know?
Yes.
So let's redefine even the time in prison. This is the time you've been set aside to meditate.
That's right.
So that you can.
Just like Malcolm. You see what Malcolm came out doing, right?
Right. Be the caterpillar that is transformed into the butterfly. So when you come out, we're looking for the butterfly. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, at some point, we'll think about how to have a welcoming party for those that come out.
They're ignored, they're injured and healed. The only people who accept them are the youth.
Yeah.
And then their negatives roll over into the youth. That's where the sagging pants come from and stuff. Because they're the ones who introduced it to the youth.
Right. Jail culture.
They knew, and other things too, and drugs. And they learn everything in prison.
Yeah.
But we got to counteract that. Cut that at the neck. So like a weed, you just got to cut it. It's a weed.
Yeah.
And we know they sending these brothers out to the community, and the community is not prepared to receive these men and women coming in from such a cruel institution.
Right. We don't know the damage they've been through. We don't understand even how to help them heal. Well, this is definitely the work for some higher conscious women, like the Female Solution. So we'll make it happen.
But I must say, the sagging pants did not start in prison. It was interpreted in prison. But I know them folks down in the South. Remember the ones had the suspenders? Because
Well,
my
yeah.
dad and my granddaddy and all of them, they all had sagging pants and they booties were
But that's why
showing.
they had to. That's why they
That's
had
why they had the
suspenders.
suspenders. Right.
They were real loose too.
Yes. I remember them.
Well,
Them old
maybe we
men
need
had
to
them
bring back
things.
suspenders. Maybe that's another fashion. We need to bring back suspenders.
Okay. Right. Right. The suspenders. That's why they had them.
You're
Well,
right, DeMar.
well, that's a product for somebody.
I tell you.
Right.
Definitely. Well, we've got to go, and I thank all of you all who have joined us today for the after show. We had a wonderful presentation of a men-only discussion led by our brother Karriem Hameed.
It was exciting, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I picked up his emotions.
Yes.
Do
Yes.
this, and I am 100% behind them.
Yes. Well,
They can do it. They can pull it off. We have to support them.
yes, we have to support them. Let them know we believe in them. We believe in what they're doing. We're
Yeah.
giving them our 100% support,
We're
encouragement,
hopeful.
and we're hopeful.
I think they can pull it off. I think they can with us behind them and us doing what we doing. They can do it.
The support. Yeah.
I believe so, and because men are often inspired by women.
And the prayer.
Yes, yes. So with
constant prayer.
Constant prayer.
Yes, with constant prayer.
And
absolutely.
those who have been set aside for some private time to meditate. We're going to encourage them to do that as well.
Yeah.
Time to meditate and to transform, like the caterpillar in the cocoon. They're there for transformation, and they're going to come out.
Malcolm X becomes the example.
Yes. How
he went in and transformed. He went to 3 transformations, maybe 4.
Oh yeah. Yes, he did.
So he was the gangster, the criminal. Then he went in and he became a Muslim, and then he came out and he did the work of God. Then he really met God in terms of the fullness of all people being one.
Absolutely.
So that was a transformation. Those were 4 transformations that he went through. And meditation and mindfulness set aside time, Naima.
That's right. That's what we're going to call it from now. Well, all right, y'all. So let's see. Tomorrow we have Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. So join us for then. And as always, we appreciate everybody who is a part of the solution. We're here to transform the world, to make it the way it should be. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Shalom. The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Karriem Hameed. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.